This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. There is always a risk when investing in the stock market. These videos are never a suggestion to buy or sell any specific stock. It is always advised to do your own research and to keep learning more and more about any strategies used in these videos. Welcome back to the channel. I hope all had a good weekend, and going forward I hope all have a prosperous week. So we're going to jump into week 22 of our Roth. And looking at the account balance is currently sitting at $14,608.25. Today is May 24th, so I went ahead and updated that balance, $14,608.25. And we can see we're starting to trend back up in the direction we need to go. Again, guys, that over the last month, I mean, this is raw, this is real, this is, you're able to actually see, like, there, if you buy a stock in the stock market, there's a 100% chance it's going to go down. At some point it's going to go down, and that's just something that you used to. It's something that you have to be able to stomach. If you can't stomach the volatility, the ups and downs, then you may not want to, get into this, but that's just part of it. It's normal, and you know that's going to happen. So now hopefully we'll keep going in the right direction. At some point it's going to dip again. That's fine, as long as you look at the overall trend of this and it's heading, in a upward position. And this is a Roth IRA, so we got time. That's the biggest thing. Understand that you have time and you're going to go through these fluctuations. So looking at this week, everything did expire now. All the monthly calls, weekly calls, everything expires. We still have 100 shares of Dropbox. We still have 200 shares of Orbital Energy. And we did get exercised on the Schrodinger. We had the $70 put. So, and this, when people ask sometimes, like, what's the downside? And that is, right, we sold a put for $70. This stock is currently at $64. We end up paying $70 for the stock. So that's something that to be aware of. It doesn't bother if you understand what you're doing. It's not that big a deal. We're just going to wait it out and end up selling it back at 70. I don't plan on selling this one for a loss. So we'll look at this starting with Dropbox. We come over, and that's another thing too. Even with Dropbox, y'all saw there's been multiple times where we only got $1 for it. But Dropbox is starting to trend up. It's currently sitting at $26.72. Our cost basis on this is $27.21. So we'll just go in order here. We're going to come over to the drop down arrow. And as normal, if you own the stock, once you come over here, you're going to click right here on options chain. That's what we're trying to get to, the options chain. This will bring up the options chain. We always check our date, which is 4 days out. Currently, the stock is $26.72, and the pre-market or hours is currently sitting at $26.61. Our cost basis was $27.21. And remember, the left side is calls. So we're looking for a call since we own the stock. We're going to come down the chain till we find our cost basis, which is $27.21. We're going to go the next one above it, which is $27.50. This is the one we want. Once we find the one we want, we're looking at this selection right here. We'll come over here to trade. I'm going to click right here on trade. This will open up, and as always, whenever we get a chance, we read this. We're selling Dropbox. Expiration is the 28th of May. That's this coming Friday. Our strike price is going to be $27.50. We own this stock for $27.21. So this is the one, next one highest. This will be a call option. That means we own the stock. If you own it, you're selling calls. If you want to own it, you're selling puts. We're going to sell to open. We're going to do a quantity of 1 because we have 100. If we had 200 shares, we could do a quantity of 2. This will be a market order. I'll review and submit this order. Okay, when I went to submit it, it's saying this order can't be placed. Market orders are not permitted outside of regular hours. This is new. It's never done this before. I know they've been changing some of their rules. So we might have to set this as a limit order. Okay, I don't know why it's not letting me. I'm going to call Charles Schwab. I'll let you guys know on that. So let's just do a limit order. If we look at the bid, basically if you're doing limit orders, you want to look at the bid price, which is 0.24. So this might get, if they don't allow market orders, it might get a little tricky if you're going to work. If you're able, you're going to have to actually check it when you do. So let's just do a limit price. I'm going to do a limit of 0.18. So what happens is if the stock, since we're selling a call, if the stock drops, it's going to drop this bid from 24. It's going to drop it down. Now, if the stock goes up or stays the same, we're not going to have to worry, because even though we put a limit price of 0.18, it's still going to give us the 0.24. It's going to give us the higher. It just won't give it to us if it say that this limit price ends up dropping to 0.15. At that point, it won't give it to us until the stock starts to rise, which actually isn't a bad thing. It's just if you want to generate that income and you want to make sure it gets executed, you got to set a limit price that's a lot lower than the bid, and it will still give you whatever price it is. Next, we have Orbital Energy. Cost basis is sitting at $6.59. So looking at this, come over to the drop down. We're going to go to options chain to see if there's any available. It's currently sitting at $3.36. Cost basis $6.59. This one is almost a monthly call. $7.50 would be the one that's above our cost basis. There is 0, so that means there's not any calls available. We could go 53 days out and still get $5 for it, or we could go 144 days out and get $20. I'm just going to let this one sit. I might buy more to try to get the cost basis to $5, but for now I'm just going to let this one, I'm going to wait and see if it comes up. Next, we have Schrodinger. We know we got this for $70. We're going to come over to the drop down arrow. We're going to go to options chain. And again, we'll look at the first available call, which is 25 days out on June 18th. And our cost basis is $70. So this is the one I'm going to select. I have this also in my other account. I'll probably sell the $75, but since this is in a Roth IRA, I'm just going to go ahead and sell the $70. You want to take profits as much as possible in a Roth because it's all about growth and there's no tax consequences. So I'm going to click right here on trade and reading this Schrodinger expiration the 18th, $70 call. I'm going to do sell to open. We're going to do a quantity of 1. We have 100 shares. I'm going to try this on market again to see if it works. And yeah, it didn't work. So I'm pretty sure they changed the rules on that. That's going to be a little bit awkward, but you know, again, if you want to sell this and you don't want to do the work, then you got to place something below the bid price. If you do want to make sure that you get at least a certain amount, you can set the limit. You can either just set it and forget it, but you may not make any money, or you can just monitor it on your lunch break or, your break or work or lunch at work. So I'm going to set a limit here. We'll just set the limit price at, and the bid is at 63.68. So I'm going to do a limit on this. I'm going to do a 150. So right now the bid currently, if we look at the bid, is sitting at 165. So I'm going to do a 150 and we'll just have to monitor that to see if it gets executed. So reading this, we're doing Schrodinger expiration the 18th, $70 call option. We're going to sell to open. We're going to do a quantity of 1. This will be a limit at 1.5. And this is another thing right here too, guys. If you if you're planning on setting this, say at 165, and you're thinking at some point in the week it's going to get there, you need to come where it says timing instead of day only. you need to do good until cancel. If you select good until cancel, this will actually, since this is there we go, it's good for 60 days. So if you're doing a weekly call, obviously it's going to expire by that time the coupon itself expires. But if you do good for 60 days, this will go out all the way until June 18th. So I'm going to review and submit this one. Okay, we've inputted all of our calls. Now we need to look at our cost basis. We don't currently have any puts. So the cash right now is sitting at $4,857.25. So I know Ford just came out with their electric pickup. I'm going to come up here to accounts and go to trade. And if we look at the bid, it's currently sitting at $13.49. So I'm going to try to get it at $13.50. So I am in extended hours. I did buy 100 shares at $13.50. I'm going to review this. And we did get executed. So we have 100 shares of Ford. Cost basis $13.50. I'm going to come over here to the drop down arrow. And we bought it at $13.50. I'm going to try to sell a call at $13.50. So I'm going to come over here to trade. And I mean, I get why they won't let you do market orders, because, you know, buying a stock at market order can change a little bit, sometimes a lot, but options can really change dramatically. So we're looking at Ford expiration this Friday, $13.50 call option, sell to open, a quantity of 1. The bid is sitting at 31. So I'm going to set this limit price at 0.25. So 0.25 day only. I'll review and submit this. So looking at our cash on hand, we have $3,507.25 left after we bought the 100 shares of Ford. So I'm going to come up here to trade, and I'm going to go to options chain. And we've used NEO quite a bit, so I'm going to do NEO again this week. Looking at the bid is currently at $34.38. And looking at the options chain, it goes to $32.50. So I'm going to come over here to all on the right hand side here and click this all. This expands the chain. And this week I'm going to look at the $32 put option. So finding the one we want, $32, we come over to the right to trade. I'm going to click right here on trade. And looking at this, we're selling NEO expiration the 28th, $32 strike price. This will be a put option. We're going to sell to open, quantity of 1. We're going to do a limit. The bid is currently sitting at 0.3. We're going to do a 0.25 limit. I'll review and submit this. And with $3,500 in cash, doing a $3,200 put roughly puts us around $300. So we're going to come back after the market opens and make sure that these got executed. Okay, the market is now open, and looking at our calls, we have Dropbox, Ford, the NEO put, and Schrodinger. So let's jump over to history. So we have Ford $13.50 call, Schrodinger $70 call, the $32 put for NEO, and a $27.50 call for Dropbox. Looking at what we got this week, we got a total of $30.35, $179.35, $24.35, and $18.35. So updating the sheet, we have Ford, Schrodinger, Dropbox, and NEO. Everything expiring on the 28th, except for Schrodinger will be the 18th of June. Looking at our totals this week, $30.35, $179.35, $18.35, and $24.35. So that's one. So we have a total of about $250, $252, something like that this week. So 252 definitely starting to go back in the right direction. You know, a lot of this is just patience. It's just having the patience. And if you're doing this in a Roth IRA, you probably have a while. So just be patient with it. And, you know, it's going to be volatile. It's going to fluctuate. So guys, I want to thank you for watching this video. If you found value in this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, if you would consider subscribing and clicking that notification bell will alert you anytime there's a new video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.